Figured since I already got the camera out tonight and I'm out here in front of the tanks, do a little quick feeding video of the Trimacs and possibly the Lyonsi if they want to cooperate. This is my big wild male, about 11.5 inches, possibly 12. I haven't measured him recently, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow during water change. Maybe try to get a better idea on him. This is F1 female. Probably about 10 inches or so. Probably just about as thick. He's definitely taller bodied though. Both real aggressive eaters. I've just been loving the Southern Delight. I've been kind of mixing it up between large cichlid and a little bit of power feed. I like the stuff that kind of takes a little bit longer to get down. Typically if it hits the bottom, he's not a big fan of going after it. And she hasn't really cleared her side enough to where she'll chase it down, so I only throw a few pellets in at a time so they'll keep coming up for it. That way we're not wasting any. Make sure any that does go in the tank is actually going to the fish. Well, these are probably, as far as breeding projects, probably my second favorite behind my Lyonsi. My Lyonsi are a bit more of my pride and joy. I've raised them up since they were about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. About 1.5 years or so ago, got them from Gage at Cichlid Connection. Now my largest is about 6.5, 7 inches. I've had these guys coming up on about a year. I haven't really been trying to work on getting them to breed up until a couple months ago after I sent out the extra female to Mr. Man out in Minnesota. First sisters with his big guy tucking. Be nice to see either one of these females that start producing. If we can get either one of them to start laying and get some nice fry out there for people that have been trying to find good quality Trimac. Been getting harder and harder to find. Give them a little bit more. Give her a little bit too. He's got some awesome trailers on him. I don't know how well you guys can see that. If he'll turn broadside again, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I extend probably a full 3/4 to an inch past his tail when he's actually swimming and they stretch out. She's a little bit darker. She's got a lot more blue in her body that you can see, especially if the light hits it just right. Neither of them have much as far as their flower marks on the side. You can see hers faintly if the light catches them right. They show up a little more blue. Her dorsal's real dark. You mostly see the spot on her tail. Whereas him, you can see the spots on both sides of his head. Got just one little spot about a third of the way down his body. Then a larger spot And then on this side of the tail, he's got a double spot right at the end of his tail. Kind of like the ones that don't have full flower lines all the way down them. To me, it kind of separates them a little farther from the look of the flower horns that seems to be kind of forcing them out. This side you can see he's got it on his head, and then he's got the double on that side of his tail also, but he's missing his center spot. A real nice close-up of him. Thing's a little bit of a mess the day before water change. We'll come up to the feeding frenzy that is the Lyonsi tank real quick. Get them some food. You can see these guys are all right up front begging. They're waiting for it. The food starts hitting and it's just a swarm right to it. These guys, I can put a little more food in there all at once. They'll go down, they'll pick it off the bottom. Never a problem with them. This is my biggest male here. Like I was saying, he's probably about 6.5, 7 inches or so. I'll have to get an accurate measurement on him tomorrow. This is probably the most aggressive of the 2 females that I've seen so far. Females' chest, both of them have stayed pretty red ever since their dorsal spots finally showed up. And this is a secondary female. You can see her dorsal spot a little bit, but you can definitely see the red in her chest a little bit more. This is the second largest male. Probably a little bit smaller by about half, 3/4 of an inch or so. See the male flaring a little bit. Gorgeous fish. I absolutely love these guys. I had to pull all the other fish that was in here with them. At one point I had some Gorillas black grow outs in here. I also had a silver arrow. Did real well for a while, but as soon as it got the females started showing, and you could tell the difference between the males and the females, the whole group kind of went into a whole different mode of where they wanted to beat on everything. So now it's just the Lyonsi in here. One lonely little goldfish. This is the leftover. I haven't felt the need to go in and chase them down yet. You can see a little, got a couple scales missing, but not enough where anyone's actually tried to eat them yet. I just don't think they care enough about it. See the male getting a little defensive. Female's kind of chasing everyone. Hoping this is more of a bit of a pair bond where these two will actually kind of pick a good territory to go, and I don't know if they're claiming more of the whole wood section or if they just want to control the left half of the tank, because as you can see everyone's over here, but this whole end's empty. Goldfish wanders over here and that's about it. But the male and the one female are always pretty close to the middle. At least one of them's typically over here. Big male's kind of dancing back and forth between the 2 females, not sure if he's planning on trying to spawn with both or if he's just not sure which one he wants to go with yet. Be nice to see him actually settle down with one. if he sticks with one long enough and they actually establish a territory, I'll probably let them spawn maybe once or twice in here with everyone else, and as long as they're not hurting everyone else, probably let them keep this tank, and as long as they coexist for a while until they get a little bit bigger, they can have this tank to themselves. If they start getting aggressive towards the rest of the group, I'll probably end up pulling this pair and end up moving them into a little bit smaller tank where it's just the two, and give them their own space. Possibly let the group reorganize into maybe another pair. Let this other male over here, let him possibly pick out a female of his own. I might keep 2 pair of them. I might only keep the one. I'm not sure yet. These guys haven't really shown much for aggression up until about the last week towards each other. You can see the one that's kind of hiding up by the filter. You know, a little beat up. Fins are a little tattered. Body's missing a couple scales, but nothing too horrible yet. You can see the one female kind of hiding back down in there. Keeps dipping down in there every so often. I don't know if she's clearing the spot out or what's going on with those two. But these seem to be the two that I see together most often, is this female and the main male. She's definitely the most aggressive of all the females so far. I think I have a third one, but the spot hasn't come in solid enough to for me to be able to make that call. But hopefully we'll see something come out of these guys soon.